I believe that when you truly know yourself, you win. Welcome to On the Daily, the podcast where we dive real deep into human design, astrology, and your subconscious mind, all with the intention of you building your idea of a big delusional life and an even more delusional business. My name is Danielle McCleerey, and I am a master human design and astrology teacher, somatic coach, business mentor, public speaker, and seven-figure entrepreneur. My biggest gift is the ability to see beneath the surface, and I think too many people look outside of themselves for who they should be and what they should be doing. Around here, that is unacceptable. Around here, we break the matrix and really remember who the heck we are underneath all the programming. This podcast will give you all of the tools, mindset, and practical application you'll need to be everything you came here to be in the shiniest way possible. Are you with me? Let's freaking go. Hello, On the Daily family. Welcome back to this episode. This episode is all about the frequency or the resource of visibility or fame, and kind of the energetics involved with becoming a household name in your industry, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become Kylie Jenner overnight, but just becoming a household name in your industry. Okay, so if you are on a path to getting more visible and you want people to see your art and you are tired of hiding, this is your episode. So let's do it. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. We're going to talk about fame in this episode. And this fame is not a talent. It's not just about talent, right? Fame is a resource. It's a very valuable resource that until you learn it, until you learn how to access it, people can't see you the way that they want to or the way that you want them to. And I think it's really important to understand that fame as a resource is a vibrational frequency. It is the ability to make your nervous system feel safe with a lot of people seeing you and a lot of people perceiving you, which is tough. This is a tough pill for a lot of people. And I think what I want to talk about is the energetic and the subconscious factors that exist when we see musicians, artists, actors become famous, aka step into their full visibility. Because if you have work, a body of work, art that you are trying to bring into this world, the first thing you need to learn how to do is hold the resource of fame and program your nervous system to feel safe with a lot of eyes on you. Because that is not natural. We are not wired for that. We are not wired for that expansion. We are wired for safety. And a lot of people perceiving you, aka misunderstanding you, is not safe. So the natural way that you are wired is not to be seen by a lot of people. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about it. The frequency of fame. It's not random. Fame is not a random thing. It's not just like, there's a lot of talk about like industry plants and like, that person was planted in the industry. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm saying for the most part, it is a game of, can someone hold the frequency of fame, or do they naturally hold it, right? Like some kids, I feel like in the entertainment industry, like Nepo babies, like people like that had a famous parent. I think about like Blue Ivy a lot. Like she is naturally gifted at holding the resource of fame because she literally grew up in it with her mom being Beyonce and her dad being Jay-Z. Like she grew up with the resource of fame imprinted into her blueprint. Not everybody has that. And when you don't have that naturally, you have to learn that by deconditioning your nervous system to fear being misunderstood. Charisma, magnetism, visibility, okay, and all the wounds associated with this. This is how our subconscious beliefs really dictate the level of success that we're going to have, right? Depending on what your wounds are around your own charisma, your own magnetism, and your own visibility, depending on your wounding pattern there and your subconscious beliefs, that is going to dictate your ability to be seen, all right? And I think the fear of fully being seen is not a matter of talent. And I think this is why a lot of people get stuck and a lot of artists' work never sees the light of day, because it's not that they're not talented. It's that they have not accessed the resource of fame. Okay. So I want you to think about this. If you were to close your eyes and you were to like picture having like 1 million followers on Instagram, that might sound nice, might sound like a good idea, but do you really have the capacity to hold that? And if you think about people, I think about this a lot. Everybody wants to hate on celebrities. But if you really think about people like Kylie Jenner, people like Kim Kardashian, people like Taylor Swift, people like LeBron James, people like Travis Kelce, these celebrities, sure, they have talent, they're musicians, they're incredible entrepreneurs, they're fitness, they're sports, they're athletes. The amount of healing of their subconscious that they had to do to be able to hold that level of fame is pretty remarkable. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to feel safe being misunderstood. And a lot of people they don't feel safe being misunderstood. And a lot of us will and I've done this before. I've held myself back because I'm trying too hard to control how other people see me. And at the end of the day, it's not my job to tell people how to perceive me. It's my job to perceive myself and to lead with my own truth and my own honesty. And then however people perceive me is how they perceive me. And I've often not spoken up about my thoughts on things. I've often kept my opinions to myself because I often do have the unpopular opinion. I often don't think the way that like most people would given my background, right? Like this happens a lot for me with anything related to LGBT issues. Like I depart from the the group think of the LGBT community more times than I can count. I do not feel like I need everybody to like put up a pride flag in June in order for me to feel respected. And I know that goes against the popular opinion of the LGBT community. But for me, it's like if I need somebody else to validate my experience, it is because I am standing on shaky ground. I am standing on shaky ground. And if I'm standing on shaky ground and I am not confident in who I am, then I would look outside of myself for validation. And I used to do that. I used to look outside of myself for validation. I don't do that anymore. And part of that was around feeling safe in my nervous system to not be needed, to not be validated, to not be praised, but to be able to do that for myself. And so part of this like accessing the resource of fame is really about accessing the nervous system regulation level that says, I like myself, your like is extra. And if you don't like me, that's okay too. And I'm so sick of seeing artists and these beautifully creative people get really stuck in absorbing the projections and the opinions of others, which only derails and detours their art from getting to the world, which like we are in, the Pisces is in the, like North Node is in Pisces. We are in the age of Aquarius. Art and humanitarianism and coming together through unity and creativity and forward thinking is the future. And we need the artists and we need the creatives and we need the designers and we need the spiritual guides to come to the front. And in order to come to the front, you have to get used to being misunderstood because you're going to be. The more people that love you equals the more people that hate you. You cannot have one without the other because of a little universal law called the universal law of polarity. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every person that loves you, there is somebody that won't. And if you are trying too hard to manage the people that don't, then you are not able to attract the people who do love you. And that is part of being famous. And people that say like, oh, I don't want to be famous. I just want to make a big impact in the world. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. What do you mean? How are you going to make an impact without people knowing who you are? It's not the definition of famous we need to change. It's our relationship with it. We have been conditioned to see fame as something that is bad. But fame is a resource that allows you to get your art into the world. That is what fame is. And whether it's you're a coach, whether you're a creative, whether you're a designer, a musician, an actor, a dancer, a poet, a writer, a composer, a director, a guide, a mystic, you have art, you have a body of work that needs to see the world, and it's not your talent that's holding you back. It is quite literally your fear of being seen. It is quite literally the belief that if you are visible and if people can perceive you, then you are unsafe. And that is what you have to rewire. You have to rework your nervous system to be able to do that. And that's what I'm here for. That is my passion. I went to school for acting. I got a degree and I got a master's in it. I danced professionally. I acted professionally. And I quit. I quit acting because at that time I had serious visibility wounds. And I would try to be accessible and available to anybody who would ask all the time. And I was unable to see my own value. And when people would misunderstand me, it would cripple me. And it wasn't that I wasn't talented. I was very talented. It's just that I had visibility wounds and I don't have those anymore. And I see so many artists out there that have so much work that they want to bring into the world, but until you heal that, it's not going to happen. And I see this a lot, I see this with Chapel Roan a lot. She's so talented and her work is so provocative and it's thought leadership in the form of music and songwriting. It's changing pop music. She's a generational artist in a lot of ways, but she has not healed her fear of being seen, which is why she cancels shows, which is why she goes on TikTok and talks about her mental health being bad and how, people are being mean to her and all these things. And it's she is going to have to be able to learn to access the resource of fame by healing her nervous system and her subconscious belief that she needs to be understood by everyone in order to reach and to sustain that level of fame, right? You think about someone like Taylor Swift, the amount of people that hate her just for existing, she has had to heal her fear of being seen in order to get there. She would not be where she is today if she hadn't healed that. And by healing that, she accessed the resource of fame. And fame is a resource just like money is a resource. And as you raise your frequency, those resources become more available to you. It's all energetic frequency. It's all energetic work. And this is something that is so important. And so if this is resonating with you, I highly suggest you stay in my world and you keep listening and you keep tapping in and you keep tuning into my Instagram, my podcast, because that is the direction we're moving in. I am here to help you be more visible. And the way that we're going to do that is by regulating your nervous system, because your art needs to see the world. Your art needs to make its way into the public eye. And we're not going to have you getting stuck because you just have a fear of being seen. That fear of being seen is keeping you from the resource of fame. You can't have one without the other. It won't work. So stay tuned. There's going to be more on this later, but I just wanted to give you a little taste of the work that this new chapter I'm moving into. Okay, my friends, we'll be back next week for another episode. I love you and talk to you soon. Bye.